This is Panasonic's AG-DVX200, a handheld 4K capable camcorder with a micro Four Thirds sensor and a fixed, not interchangeable lens. It's designed for run-and-gun shooting, like events, news, so given the sensor and the image capabilities, which we'll mention in a minute, it is an unusual beast. At this press event for bloggers in central London, a small group of us were invited to have a preview and not only be told about the camcorder, but get our hands on it for a quick play as well. So let's have a look round. That fixed lens has the usual 3 control rings, focus, zoom and iris. They're very smooth to turn, but focus and iris are servo-driven without fixed end stops, which some people find disconcerting. 4 levels of ND are offered along with the usual auto and push auto functions just behind the lens. Along the bottom, switches for gain, white balance and the menus, then some assignable buttons near the back, just under the audio section. Annoyingly, the buttons are small and have no positive click, so you don't really feel when you've pressed them, and that's unhelpful. That audio section has a flip-out cover and provides the usual 2 channels of configurable levels. At the back, a bulbous battery compartment neatly provides a chunky brace to hold the camcorder against your shoulder whilst off sticks. Above that, a decent viewfinder with a decent eye cup, which even glasses wearers will find works well. Then, along the top handle, you find holes to mount accessories and the screen, of which more later. At the back, on the right-hand side, BNC outputs for timecode, SDI and composite video. There's another cover for a power socket and headphone jack too, along with sockets for remote controls. Above that, more connectivity with USB. In typically Panasonic style, the second XLR channel plugs in at the back for easy access for a sound recordist. The on-camera mic channel is up front on the top handle. To the left, a pull-out flip-round LCD screen, massive at 4.3 inches and with a resolution of 2.76 megapixels. Yet another flap hides a handful of display controls, and flaptastic, there's another to cover the top handle record button in case of accidental presses. Don't be fooled by the carbon fibre look, it's plastic, but nicely shaped for handheld work, although we found the main record button too small for our fat thumbs. Thumbs up though for the flip open lens hood. No sign of any losable lens covers here, thank goodness. Now that viewfinder with around 2 megapixels resolution is decent to look through, but it has a sensor by it which cuts off the LCD screen when you put your eye up. But it also cuts it when you put anything near it, including your body if you film handheld. We complained, and Panasonic have now made the choice of which screen to use selectable via an assignable button. Finally, one aspect we really like is the zoom being switchable to manual, not servo, so you can crash in to get focus and crash out again to compose the shot really quickly. This is excellent for run and gun. Now let's briefly look at some specifications. The cam shoots up to full 4K, that is 4096 by 2160 at 24p, and that's at 100 megabits a second. The UHD standard of 3840 by 2160 is available up to 50p at 150 megabits a second. And if you're shooting good old HD, you can have 50p all intra-frame recording at 200 megabits a second. Internal recording is 8-bit 420, but the HDMI connector will spit out 10-bit 422 for recording on an external device, although the internal recording gets disabled when this is selected. The lens is a 13 times zoom, ramping from f2.8 to f4.5, with a widest focal length of 28mm, but that does vary depending on which mode you film in. Recording is to fast SDXC cards, and there are relay, backup and even dual codec recording modes with some limitations. Format is MOV, MP4 or AVC-HD. The audio is LPCM uncompressed, unless you're using AVC-HD, in which case it's Dolby Digital. For about half an hour, we were allowed to take these almost production-ready camcorders outside and handle them, weigh them up and shoot a few shots. It must be made clear that there was no time to read the manual, no time to configure them, no time to set them up. It was just point and shoot and see how things went. So these are some test shots which we have adjusted a little bit for brightness due to initial difficulty in getting the zebra bars on screen and unfamiliarity with the camcorder. All the footage is handheld, albeit a couple of shots had the camcorder rested on something. As far as we're aware, the footage used the standard colour mode. We didn't test the V-Log cinema type gamma, which would have required grading afterwards, but presumably would have retained much more detail in the highlights. Disappointingly, there does appear to be some noise in the sensor. Take a look at this section, filmed at 0 dB gain, and which we've zoomed into during editing to make it clearer through all the YouTube compression. Now, here's one of the 3 sample films that Panasonic showed us in the presentation. This one was filmed using the V-Log L profile and colour graded afterwards. We're told the filmmakers that Panasonic used didn't have much time with the camcorder either before they did their shoots, and that the cameras they were using back in July were far more prototypes than the ones we had, so do bear that in mind when examining the footage critically. And of course, it's been compressed for the director's export, recompressed during our edit export, and then substantially recompressed again by YouTube. So to be fair, you can't really tell much by looking at this other than the general feel of it and the quality perhaps of the background defocus provided by that micro four thirds sensor. So that's the AG-DVX200, but who's going to buy it? Surely filmmakers will use either the much more expensive VariCam or the tried and tested GH4 with its interchangeable lenses. Well, Panasonic say it's a complementary solution for specific niches.
Some of the big organisations like Associated Press, like Bloomberg, like Reuters, are actually looking at the future and saying, well, you know, 4K is the next step. We may not need 4K today, but if we record it in 4K and we've got a run and gun camera where we don't need to take it out, choose our lens, we can just take it out of the box, switch it on and start shooting, actually we've got the footage we need in HD and we've got a 4K that we can use for our archive.
Most of the time, when you are making a TV report, you don't have time to change lenses and you have more frustrations to shoot with a lens, which is not the good lens for what you are making.
At around £3,500 plus VAT, it is positively cheap when you consider it's 4K, 50p and given the sensor size. So we asked, what's the catch?
There isn't a catch. There isn't a catch. You know, it's people wanted the sort of GH4 image, and what we've done is we've upgraded what is the GH4 block, put that in the DVX200, taken some of the features from the VariCam, put that in there as well, and that's what you've got.
The DVX200 is available for pre-order now, and we hope to get a production unit for full review soon. Thanks for watching. Give the video a click on that like button if you found it useful, leave comments if you wish, and we will do our best to answer. Bye bye.